Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Did this painting of Popeye. I grew up loving Popeye, so it was fun to do. This painting was a bit different because normally I do the black outlines with the Sharpie, but this time I did it with purely with paint to go over it, and I think it looks much better. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. Yeah, also our kitty hasn't been in these intros because he recently got his balls cut out, so he's recovering. He's high on drugs and painkillers. And yeah, so guys, wish him well in the comments. Thank you guys to all the Patreons. You guys really help support the channel and allow me to keep creating with no pressure to sell paintings, so I appreciate that. If you want to become Patrons, it's right here. And I'm gonna be adding a new tier of Patrons where you guys could have the option to Skype or whatever, FaceTime, whatever it is, for once a month, so look out for that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy it. Over to Luke in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, J Brooks Art, where Jay peacefully paints a beautiful masterpiece painting, and in contrast, I read fucked up shit on Reddit. It's either you hate it or love it, but hopefully most of you love it. In recent news, I ended up getting my cat neutered. I don't know how many of you listened to the other story the other day where I said I was going to get my cat neutered after he keeps running away and ended up on neighbors' roofs. I got him neutered. Poor thing, he's missing his left nut now, but you know what? At least there's not going to be any more stray cats, and at least my kitty isn't going to be responsible for getting another kitty pregnant and then leaving the children as her responsibility. So I've done my job there. So today's subreddit is under the topic of relationship advice. I've been loving these stories lately. They've been pretty crazy. I'm only switching between Am I the Asshole and relationship advice lately because they're honestly the most interesting and I feel I can give the best advice there. If anyone's got any other subreddit topics that they'd like me to dive into, please write them down in the comments. I'm always open to new topics, but I want it to be slightly controversial, slightly interesting, so that nothing boring, please. Because my job here is to entertain you guys. And I can't do that if you're making me look up boring subreddits. So please name your favorite subreddit and I'll try and get onto it. Okay, the title of today's video is called My Boyfriend, who was 31, has always been extremely cold. Today I found out he was diagnosed as a psychopath. How do I proceed? Now, psychopaths and sociopaths I've always felt fascinating. I'm really into the topic of psychology and just human behaviors. I find it fascinating that there's people who feel and express things differently than I do, even to an extent of not feeling emotions. And the fact that they can just use a mask and switch on and off between character and have the ability to adapt to different emotions and manipulate people to their advantage. I find it really fascinating. It's almost like a superpower. Their life is full of deception, dishonesty, manipulation, narcissism, and just a bunch of negative behaviors that, you know, quite frankly, I'm happy I don't have to or get to experience. Sociopaths and psychopaths are different. Being a sociopath, you have to move from city to city because eventually people catch you and call you up on your bullshit and you have such a bad rep, you have to leave, start all again, but that's just in their nature. They move around. Once everyone catches on to their manipulation and toxic behaviors, they have no choice but to move from city to city to start again. So it's not a life I'd like living. I like being in one spot, to be honest, and I quite like having the ability to feel emotions. So, title says it all. Basically, my boyfriend has never really been the most loving. He doesn't seem to care about anyone or anything except me. Now, would I feel comfortable if I knew that I was dating a psychopath? Definitely not. But having said that, I think the sex would be really, really good. He doesn't seem to care about anyone or anything except me, or at least I thought. But when I was looking through some of his old stuff, I found out that he'd been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, which is ASPD, which is a medical term for a psychopath. Apparently it's genetic because his father was also diagnosed with it and is currently in jail for killing his wife, which is her boyfriend's mother. Yeah, crazy that it's genetic. And wow, his father killed his mother, so it's in the family. You could be next, you don't know. Well, at least it would keep you on edge, you know? Make things a bit interesting in the relationship, like a bit of mystery to it. You gotta look at the glass half full. I've read his testimony before, and his only reason was because I felt like it. So the father killed the mother just because he felt like it. I really don't think that excuse would have held up in court too well. It was chilling. because I didn't think my boyfriend was like that at all. So you didn't see any of the signs, really? I knew he didn't really care about most people, but he's extremely charming. How he seduced me, I guess. Yeah, that is another ability that sociopaths and psychopaths have. They're charming. Everyone's seen the Ted Bundy case. While most people have, they charm their way around people, and that's how they suck you in. Typically, they have great social skills. Not all the time, but most of the time they have great social skills. However, now that I know of my boyfriend's diagnosis, I've been going through our entire 4-year relationship and reconsidering it. In our 4 years of dating, he doesn't really say I love you out of the blue. He will only say it if I say it first. Well, hold up. I'm a bit like that too. Like, I don't just randomly say I love you. I don't know why. Like, fuck, why do you have to tell everyone like every 5 seconds? Like, normally I'll say it when I'm like saying goodbye to people, but I don't think that's really a sign of someone being a psychopath because he doesn't say I love you out of the blue. Like, honestly, really scraping the bottom of the barrel. You know, he's diagnosed with psychopathy, but I don't think that's a reason why you could determine someone is a psychopath. I never really noticed this, but now that I know about his diagnosis, well, that changes things. The way he says I love you, frankly, devoid of emotions as well. He says it matter-of-factly, not like he actually means it. Well, maybe that's all it is. He doesn't mean it. Like, again, this example doesn't prove anything about him being the psychopath, really. Like, come on, there's got to be more signs, like he's watching you sleeping and you wake up, he's standing over your bed or something. Not the fact that he doesn't say I love you. Come on, I want to hear about the fucked up shit. I want this to get crazy. I want to hear stories about how you're in public and you can see him at the corner of your eye just on the other side of the shopping mall in a hat just watching you. That's what I want to hear, not this other bullshit. Come on, give me more, give me more. There's a lot of other things he does that I guess wouldn't be considered normal. If that's the best example you can give, come on, maybe he's a functional psychopath. Like, you can be diagnosed with psychopathy and you can be functional, you can learn to function with it. That's not a good example, give me better. He has never hit me or been physically violent, nor has he verbally abused me, but he treats me like a child. He likes to order me around to do things for him. Everything has to be his way. Again, these aren't the examples I'm looking for. That's just bossy. Come on, give me more. He respects my opinion and will even change his plans to work around mine. But ultimately, he's the decision maker. So he's dominant in the relationship. I pointed this out to him in the past and he says that he values my opinion immensely and that I am the smartest person he has met. Oh well, so he's a nice, friendly psychopath. That's good to know. I used to believe him, but what if this is just another tactic to manipulate me? He also has a high-paying executive job. You'll actually find most CEOs and executives of corporate jobs being sociopaths and psychopaths. They climb their way up the social ladder using the charm and manipulation, and that's how they get there. So you'll find a good percentage of CEOs in corporate jobs being sociopaths. And that is an advantage of being a sociopath or psychopath. You have everything it takes to have the top position of a big company or corporation. He also has a high-paying executive job, and I've heard from his employees that he can be very cruel to them. Yeah, that's what it takes, unfortunately. I would always dismiss their concerns because I thought they were just jealous, but now I realize that this isn't the case. I don't know what to do anymore. Can psychopaths love? Is he just manipulating me? I feel like my entire relationship is a lie. But am I being ableist by stereotyping him based on the diagnosis? Well, it does sound like you've gathered a little bit of information and just related them all to his antisocial personality disorder. You're getting little things like he doesn't say I love you like he means it, and he's dominant. You're really scratching the bottom of the barrel there. I'm sure he's got more internal problems than that, and if that's all you're dealing with right now, then honestly, you probably haven't got a lot to worry about. He probably should have told you at first that he's a psychopath. I'm sure that's kind of an important detail that a spouse would want to know before they dive into a commitment of a 4 or 5 year relationship. If I was dating someone, I'd want them to open up to me and tell me that they do have a personality disorder. That would be a pretty convenient thing to know, just so the possibility that she's standing by my bed with a knife, I'm prepared, you know, like I'm like, oh, this is her psychopathness showing. So he's a psychopath, but there is a spectrum. Clearly he's at the functional end of psychopathy. You just have to understand that he perceives things differently, he experiences things differently. Now it's up to you whether you want to accept that or not, whether you can live with that. If you're just going to be uncomfortable the whole time around him and just always be on edge, then maybe it's best you leave him. Personally, I'd confront him about the issue, let him know that you know, maybe it'll honestly be a burden off his shoulder as well. Am I the only one fascinated by all this? I could spend hours on YouTube looking up interrogations and crime shows, and it just all fascinates me. Personally, I've never bumped into a psychopath or sociopath that I know of. I'm sure I have, because look at the statistics and look at the percentages. you're bound to have bumped into someone that's a psychopath or a sociopath. Narcissists, I bumped into a few of those. They're not fun to be around, I'll tell you what. It's not fun being gaslighted, manipulated, toyed with for their own pleasure. It's not fun at all, but it's still fascinating. So my only advice and suggestion is confront him about it, let him know that you know, and if you're uncomfortable, then, well, it's not going to work. If you're going to be living on edge, it's not going to work. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite you in the ass, because at the end of the day, he's a psychopath, and you know what they're capable of, so be very careful. Just know that they have the ability to study people, put a mask on, and form a fabricated connection with you, befriend you, and then manipulate you to their advantage. So, you know, it's scary stuff. When I bump into narcissists, most psychopaths have the trait of narcissism. I want them as far as I can out of my life, as fast as I can, because trust me, it's no fun. Just off the fact alone that he bosses you around, treats you like a child, blah, blah, blah. To me, that would probably make me want to leave a relationship anyway. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. You're going to have to put his disorder aside, and just good luck with that. Honestly, good luck with that. I couldn't do it personally. The only thing I can say is the sex will be amazing, but other than that, probably not worth it. Anyway, I hope my advice has been somewhat valid. Please let me know in the comments if you're dealt with a psychopath or sociopath. I mean, not someone that you just think is a psychopath. You can't just diagnose someone that, you know, they have to actually be diagnosed. You have to know. But you can kind of get the vibe if someone is a psychopath. So please let me know. I want to hear about all your stories. As usual, the top 5 comments will be placed at the end of the video. So please get commenting, and hopefully you'll appear on the next video. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening, but that's all from me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios. Comments from last video brought to you by Luke fucking Brooks.